to my channel. So I've been filming for 5 minutes and I haven't even started talking yet because setup is the worst. Winter in England is in no way the best time to film a video, but you know, there we go. So today we're standing in front of my wardrobe. Part of this video will be in my wardrobe because we're going to be talking about clothes and shopping. So this video is going to cover a few different topics. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to declutter your wardrobe. The next thing we're going to talk about is selling and donating your clothes. And finally, we're going to be talking about some fun and easy shopping tips to make sure that if you are buying new clothes, then you are buying things that you are actually going to wear. So we're going to start off with getting rid of clothes. I said we were going to film in front of the wardrobe. I lied. So to start off with, we are going to talk about decluttering the wardrobe. Getting rid of all of that stuff that you have that just sits there. So when getting rid of all of your clothes, not all of them, but when decluttering your wardrobe, I generally like to follow the Marie Kondo method. So I will get all of one thing, dump it in a pile, and then sort through it. I like to have music on while I sort, and I like to go by the method of picking something up, looking at it objectively, and there are several things that you want to consider when you are considering whether you're going to keep an item of clothing. How does it fit? Does it fit you properly? Does it fit you well? Does it fit you right now? Do not keep things because of some grand weight loss or gain goals. I find that's just a really easy way to make yourself feel like crap. But also, you know, the length and does it fit around your chest, around your shoulders? Does the waist fit you properly? Are you tugging on it constantly every time you wear it, and that is the reason that you don't wear it a lot? Consider all of those things. The next thing to consider, how do you feel when you put on this item? Do you feel happy? Do you feel confident? Do you feel the way that you want to feel when you put on clothes? So that is different for everyone. Some people want to feel sexy, some people want to feel pretty, some people want to feel vintage, some people, you know, want to feel like an assassin from a video game. Whatever your vibes are, and you may have more than one vibe, you can vibe to many things, make sure that this piece of clothing fulfills a specific need or feeling within your soul. Number 3, is it practical for your life? Now, sometimes it is okay to obviously have things that fit different weather conditions than the ones that you tend to live in. For example, you can have summer holiday clothes, winter holiday clothes, or things like that. But if you find that something about the construction or the fit or the cut of the garment means that you are unable to wear it most of the time in the place in which you live, perhaps consider letting it go. If the thing is stained or ripped or in need of repair and you have not done that for, I'm going to say, over a year, get rid of it, because you're probably not going to. Alternatively, if the only thing stopping you from wearing that thing is that it needs to be altered in some way, or fitted, or tailored, or let in, or let out, take it to a quality seamstress or tailor in your area. They are not that expensive and they can really, really breathe new life into your clothes. I had 2 of my skirts tailored a couple of years ago and it's the best decision I ever made, honestly, because it means that the skirts fit me really, really well and they're just a lot more comfortable. Does it go with the rest of your wardrobe? Do you pick this thing up and think that you can wear it with a wide variety of outfits, possibly in more than one season? My eye is twitching. Oh my god. What? Can you wear this outfit throughout the year and get a lot of use out of it? If yes, then it is probably worth holding on to, and if not, then it might be time to let it go. So, you have cleared out your wardrobe. What is the next step? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now that you have all of these wonderful clothes, as long as they're in fairly good condition, you can resell them. Now, of course, if you would rather donate to a local charity shop or thrift shop, I think they're called in America, then go ahead and do that. That's really cool. But if you want to earn yourself a little bit of extra money, it can be really, really fun to sell them on. I am selling a whole load of my clothes on eBay. I will leave the link in the description. And it's honestly really, really fun to collect all of the information. So what I do is I create an itinerary on a little memory stick, and I write down the name of the item, the brand that it's from, the size that it is, and then you want to write down and put in your online listing all of the following things: the original price of the item if you want to, the washing instructions and the fabric composition. I'm hideously unable to wear wool, so when I see things online like knitwear and you haven't told me what it's made of, I get very upset. So just remember there are people with certain fabric allergies or intolerances, so putting what the thing is made of is going to be really, really helpful for a lot of people. You also want to put the size, so whether it says, if it says small or extra small, just maybe say roughly what size you are and if it fits you, so say extra small 10 but fits like an 8, or something like that. The colour, and especially if the colour varies in the pictures, then a little description of that. I tend to put quite detailed descriptions of a lot of the features. So for example, for this purple dress that I'm wearing right now, I would say hearts and roses, purple floral summer swing dress, size small/10, sweetheart neckline with straps, purple floral print with yellow accents, full swing skirt that hits below the knee, side zipper. Yeah, I think those are the main things that I would put. If you're putting skirt length, then it can sometimes be a good idea to indicate how tall you are. So for example, a skirt that hits mid-calf on me as a 5'8" person is going to be very different on someone who's like 5'3". So just letting people know that will be very, very helpful. And then obviously if there are any imperfections or things that need to be mended or things that have been repaired or altered in any way visibly on the garment, you should always mention those in the listing, particularly if it's going to have an effect on the price that you're selling it for. So for example, if you're selling a dress that was originally £100 and you're selling it for 30, people are probably going to be like, why? And it might just be because there is visible mending on one of the seams that might need to be repaired again in the future, or something like that. So you have now decluttered your wardrobe and put all of the lovely, lovely items on the reselling app or into the charity shop of your choice, and you're feeling pretty good and you think you would like to maybe get a couple of items to replace the amount of things that you got rid of. So how do you shop the most effectively? Well, when I am shopping, I have a few main things that I tend to go through. First of all is when you look at the item, when you see the item, when you're shopping, having something in mind. I find just going onto a website and putting in clothes and viewing everything just fills your brain with too much stuff. So having an idea of at least the general thing that you want to buy, like tops, trousers, jeans, skirts, trainers, dresses, jumpsuits, something to narrow things down initially a little bit is a really good idea. And then if you have any more specific preferences, like for example, colour palette, silhouette, style, era even, fabric, embroidery, anything like that. So for perhaps you have your eye on a specific design feature, like you would just like a clothing item with rose embroidery. You can type that into Google or whatever website that you are using. Focus more on getting good quality items that are going to last you a longer amount of time. Now I realise that this is going to be a bit of a tricky situation because we are all on a budget and some people's budget is more limited than others, but I think if you are going to have the choice between getting like 3 new things that you know aren't going to last very long or 1 new thing that is going to last you for like literally years, I would say go for the thing that's going to last you years. That is just my personal opinion, but I think investing in things that are way better quality and that are going to last you longer will be more useful for your wardrobe in the long run. When you are shopping, try to shop from smaller businesses and more sustainable brands. I like to look for companies that I know are smaller businesses, people like the Seamstress of Bloomsbury or Vivian of Holloway, British Retro, Hearts and Roses, Collective. Those are 2 slightly bigger vintage reproduction brands. Have a look around, look and see what is out there. If you find an item that you like on, say, a fast fashion website, then look at what you like about it and try and find a similar thing in maybe a better quality. That's a really good idea. So literally copy and paste the description of the clothing and then try and find similar things by just pasting that into Google. You can also shop vintage. So I have been really loving a shop called Revival for Vintage recently. I've spoken to one of the business owners, Helene, who is the sweetest person, and actually sent me a gift voucher and a little certificate. If you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen this. It's so cute. It's the Revival Award for Terrific Attire. And it's so pretty. It makes me feel so happy. So, I would definitely recommend shopping for them. I will leave their links in the description below. But yeah, look on Etsy. It can be a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, it's so worth it. When I have a little bit of extra cash to spare. Does this item fit who you are as a person, your life, your weather, and the rest of your wardrobe? Buying things that you will then have to buy other things to go with the thing you just bought is not the energy we want to bring. We want to buy versatile pieces. You want to be able to wear it with at least 4 outfits, ideally 6. Before you allow it into the fold of your wardrobe. So for example, this is a summer dress. I'm wearing it with a blouse underneath. It's adorable. Some people will think this outfit is hideous, I have no doubt, but I think it's the cutest thing ever, and I just think it's really pretty. So wearing things that you can style in multiple ways, wear with multiple things, wear with multiple colours. I wear colours together that I think sometimes people may argue don't necessarily match, but I just like being really colourful. So if you like a certain colour scheme, then obviously try and keep within that colour scheme or add a colour that will blend really well with the rest of your wardrobe. And if you have a general aesthetic or several aesthetics perhaps, then, you know, buy things that fit in with all of those, and maybe even some items that will fit for multiple different moods that you are feeling. Okay, here is a little quick fire round of some tips for all of the areas. Number 1, if you have seen a picture of you in this piece of clothing that made you hate yourself, get rid of it. Number 2, if you are only keeping this piece of clothing because you think that you're going to somehow alter your body in order to properly fit into it, get rid of it. Number 3, if this piece of clothing reminds you of a terrible place in your life and every single time you put it on you are reminded of either a very dark time or a person that hurt you or a situation that made you really upset, get rid of it and possibly burn it therapeutically to help release your feelings of catharsis. Number 4, do not deliberately hide imperfections in a garment when you're trying to sell them. That's just mean. If there's like a massive stain somewhere on the back or underside of the skirt that you're just assuming the other person won't notice, they will, and they're going to be really sad, especially if you're charging quite a high price for the item. Always put it in the listing. Number 6. Number 5? Number 5. Number 5. If you have in any way had this garment or piece of clothing altered to better fit you, also put that in the description. This might mean that you have to put some of your measurements or your general size or whatever specific thing that you had altered in order to make it fit you better. So for example, if you have like quite a straight silhouette, but you have slightly smaller chest and you had to get it taken in around the chest to make it fit you and flatter you the best, you will need to put that in the listing so that other people know what's up. Number 6, do not fill your wardrobe with entirely dry cleaned items. You will regret it later. Make sure that you have a good mix of things that are dry clean only, if any. I know some people never buy dry clean only items, that's totally cool, but if you're going to buy them, make sure you have a mix of those things and also things that can just be thrown through the washing machine on delicate with a colour catcher in, to make sure that you will always have clothes and that you don't end up with all of your favourite clothes in a I'm going to take it to the dry cleaners, I swear, pile. Number 7. Please, 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 take good care of your clothes. Fold them nicely, put them in a drawer where they're not suffocated, hang them nicely on nice hangers, in a wardrobe, in an organisational system that best fills your heart with joy and that you best find the most helpful. I organise mine by colour, and then within colour it goes lighter to darker hue, and then within that it goes more summery to more wintry items, and then I do have a specific winter section in my wardrobe. So that's how I organise my stuff. Just thought it would be fun to tell you. So find an organisational system that works so that you can best keep track of all of your clothing so that you don't end up buying the same thing twice or 3 times. Also, try not to buy... Thinking about my wardrobe. I was going to say try not to buy the same thing in multiple colours, but I do in fact have the same skirt in 2 colours and have the same top in 2 colours, so maybe try not to do that too much. Alternatively, I mean, if it fits you really well and it makes you feel good, then buying it in multiple colours could be a really good idea, so because it in colours that you wear specifically, because then, you know, you have multiple colours, multiple options, multiple moods. At the end of the day, shopping is really, really, really fun. It's just an amusing and enjoyable thing to do. I think we all need to be aware of making sure that we are shopping ethically and sustainably as far as is possible, so not buying loads and loads and loads of clothes that we are never going to wear again, doing regular declutters of our wardrobe and either donating or selling things, and then buying really nice, good, fun clothes that make you feel really, really good, because that is the point of fashion. It's an expression of who you are and what you're feeling that day. If your aesthetic and your clothing choices change wildly from day to day, then that's really, really cool, and you shouldn't ever be made to feel embarrassed about that. So buy things that are maybe sometimes a little bit outside your comfort zone and just go crazy and have fun, and make sure that you are buying from brands that make your heart happy and that you agree with their production methods and their values as much as is possible, and support smaller businesses as much as is possible, and just remember to always have fun and to feel good in what you wear. So those are some of my shopping tips. I hope that they were really, really helpful and fun for all of you to watch, and I think I'm going to do something weird with my hair in the next couple of weeks. So if I do, I'm definitely going to make a video on it, because these roots are getting a bit intense. Oh my god, that looks so bad on the camera. We're in lockdown, okay? I can't get to my hairdresser. I have literally messaged her going, help me. But that was a whole tangent, oh my goodness. Anyway, that was all of my shopping tips for today, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Leave your decluttering, selling and shopping tips in the comments below. Let's get a little, you know, thing going. And remember to have courage and be kind, and may all of your dreams come true. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! It's so dusty, oh my god. We're taking all of the doors off and sanding them down and repainting them, so there's just dust everywhere.